I'm going to disclose 10 things you should avoid doing right after uploading your videos. Did you know that what you do after uploading your YouTube video is equally important as the video itself? Most small YouTubers makes these mistakes immediately after uploading their YouTube videos. I frankly made one of these crucial mistakes in one of my videos. The thing is, the video was doing really well in the early days I posted the video, until I realized that I forgot to add manual chapters. Chapters are usually more or less like a notification that tells the viewer which parts of the video he has gotten to. This allows the viewer to not completely abandon the entire video, but rather skip to the parts that interest the viewer. This is something a lot more creators are making good use of. In my case, I plan on adding chapters at the point of uploading the video, but unfortunately I forgot to do that. So I was like, okay, that's fine, I'll do that later. To cut the long story short, I later on added the chapters and saved the video. And then 30 minutes later, I checked back and I realized that my real-time views on that video has drastically reduced. To my greatest surprise, that particular action killed the views to that video on my channel. With my experience on here, I realized that I've made a very big mistake that shouldn't have happened. And this does not only have to do with the idea of adding chapters. You can also find yourself in a situation where you would want to take off or remove chapters from your video. Adding chapters or removing chapters could affect the performance of your videos differently based on the retention of that video. And based on this, removing or adding the chapters can affect the general performance of the video's retention. So you wouldn't want to do anything that has the potential of decreasing the amount of time people spend watching that particular video. And in some case, the video might just do well without chapters, even though you mistakenly forgot to add them. Take note of this, and even if you want to add chapters, make sure you add it at the point where you are uploading the video, and not when you are done uploading, where you would manually put them back later on. The next thing you should avoid doing after uploading your YouTube video is something I've been a victim of on several occasions. And personally, to be honest with you, I learned this the hard way. And I'm telling you this so that you don't have to be victims as well. Now, this brings us to another mistake you should avoid, that is changing your title or thumbnail too early. The most important time for the testing of your video on YouTube is usually going to be the first week, and that is within the first to the third day of the video being published. Within the first 3 days, that is where YouTube is going to get a lot of data. That is by showing your videos to a lot more people, by testing it with different audience on YouTube. The rest of the extra 3 weeks are just for you to be sure whether your title or thumbnail is actually really good or not, because by then YouTube might have done all the necessary checks for you to decide whether you are changing any of your title or you are changing any of your thumbnail. So if you are confident you have really good title or thumbnail, it might even take YouTube a little bit longer than the 3 weeks before the video will take off. When you have all these things going on well for you, the video is good, the title is good, the thumbnail is good, and you mistakenly change any of these things, YouTube is going to see that particular video again as a completely new video of its own. And when it comes to promoting that particular video you just made a change to the title or the thumbnail, the algorithm is going to take some minutes or take some time to readjust things and start promoting that particular video to the audience it's meant for. No matter how small the change is, once you save it, your views are going to drop, because the algorithm will need time to process it before it can start promoting the video to the right audience. The key takeaway here is that when you have a video that is already doing very well or performing well, don't change anything on that video. But if you are changing something for the better, I would highly recommend you change it, especially if the change is going to be a lot more better than the old one. And in most of the cases, it's usually your thumbnail or your title. But if your video is already popping and doing very well right from the time you publish it, I don't see why you would want to make any changes. So try as much as possible not to play with any video that's already doing well on your channel. You probably will wondering, what if a video is performing badly? Wouldn't it be okay to change the title or the thumbnail? The answer to that question is yes, but with a big but. You see, you should know that as a small YouTuber, YouTube is trying to match up your content with the right audience, and this certainly is going to take some time. You need to be patient and make sure you don't make any changes before YouTube is able to test it to know the right audience to show that particular content to. At this early stage of when your video is published, the algorithm does a lot of work by testing your videos differently with different people. You'll probably be wondering how long it should take before you change any of your packaging. To answer that, you should give it 1 to 4 weeks, depending on how confident you are with your title or thumbnail. And this is where it might also get you also asking, what if my title or thumbnail is good and the video has been up on YouTube for more than 2 weeks? And this brings us to another mistake that you should avoid that I see a lot of creators do on YouTube. And in most of these cases, they think a video has been on YouTube for more than 2 weeks and that video hasn't blown up. And for that matter, that particular video is a flop. In most of the case, this is true. But ever so often, a video will pop up and blow up after a month. And in some cases, it might even take up to 3 to 6 or even a year before the video blow up. So let's say you have one of these videos on your channel and then you decide to go like, okay, I'm just going to change everything on this video. What it literally means is you are literally shooting yourself on your feet. And that is a way of killing your chance of that video blowing up. If you have a similar pattern of content that you always do on your channel, once any of those videos blow up, even if it takes it a year or 2, the rest of your videos that are similar to that particular video that blew up will definitely blow up, because a lot more of the audience that will watch that particular video that blew up will be looking through your channel to see other videos that are similar to that, so they can also watch. So if you are a fan of deleting or changing your videos too soon, you put yourself at a disadvantage. For me, I always give my videos up to a month or even 2 before I contemplate or even debate as to whether I would make any changes to them or just leave them as they are. When I think that there's a chance of that video getting views later sometime in the future, I just allow it to sit up there. Another mistake I see a lot of small creators do is after a video is being published, they go over to YouTube to look at how the title and thumbnail of the video looks like. This just gives them an idea of how their videos will look like to the viewer. And in some cases, they will go ahead to click on that video, watch it for some few seconds, like the video, and go out of YouTube. The thing is, when you watch your videos for only some few seconds, you are literally killing your retention rate. What it means is that you are literally telling YouTube that the one person that came and viewed the video didn't really enjoy the video, so this video is actually that bad. So if you watch any of your video, make sure you watch it all the way through. And additionally, if you look at your channel to see how your video or your title looks, make sure to click on that video to watch it all the way through. If you don't click on that video to watch, YouTube is going to get a signal that that particular content is not that good, and it will count it as a content that people are not really interested in. So always click on your videos to watch it all the way through, especially when you see it in the suggestion or YouTube homepage, because as a small channel, YouTube has very little data of your channel, so every small view counts. Another mistake you should avoid, and I see a lot of small creators do this, is whenever they post their video on YouTube, they go ahead to promote that particular video outside YouTube or with their friends on other websites or other platforms. To them, that's a sure way of giving their videos a boost so that a lot more people would see the video. When you look at it that way, you might be tempted to feel that this really makes sense, but actually don't do that. The YouTube algorithm is designed to test and promote videos around or within the YouTube app. So if you share your videos to your friends and family or even your loved ones outside the YouTube platform, these people might not be the right audience for your video. All what these people will do is to come on YouTube, watch your video a little, give it a like, and exit the YouTube platform. So in this case, you are not getting the right retention view for your videos because they might not watch the entire video. It is best recommended that your views should be coming in from the audience the algorithm is testing your videos by showing them to. And you wouldn't want this particular process to be disrupted. So make sure you are not adding views to your your videos from these external sources that doesn't have anything to do with YouTube. You wouldn't want to interrupt with the job of the YouTube algorithm, hence scaling your chances of getting views from the YouTube recommendations. The next mistake you would want to try as much as possible to avoid not doing after uploading your video. This particular point is going to be a little bit controversial. It might just sound a little bit controversial. And I'm saying this point is going to be controversial because a lot more people might not share in this same opinion by deleting negative comments, because others might think that you are cutting out engagement on your video by deleting negative comments. But the truth is, negativity gets attention a lot more faster. For instance, if someone watches your videos and forms an impression on any of the things you spoke about, the person might disagree to that negatively. And the only way the person can express his disagreement is to put it in a form of a comment on your video. And if another person comes to see the comments and share in that opinion, the person will continue the negativity by writing another negative comment on your video. And in that doing, you would have a bunch of negative comments on your video. You wouldn't want that to be happening for the rest of your videos. So you would want to try as much as possible to delete the negative comments that are coming on your videos. You would want to make sure that you are moderating your comment section. And by doing so, you would want to delete all the negative comments that are on top. In as much as there will be negative comments coming, you probably would have some positive comments. Make sure that you delete all the negative comments and leave only the positive comments, so that when people come across your video, they will be seeing only the positive comments instead of a bunch of negative comments. Another mistake you would want to avoid is actually very embarrassing. You wouldn't want to fall a victim to this particular mistake. This is where you finish your video and you didn't really give it a second look. Then you go ahead to post it, and then months later you go back to watch the video and you realize that there was a particular cut you didn't do well, or there was a particular portion you needed to take out of the video, but because you didn't give your video another or an extra preview, you didn't actually see this particular mistake. So what it does is that when that video eventually becomes viral, a lot more people are going to see that particular mistake you did or that particular error you had in the video. So you would want to save yourself from a lot of embarrassment by cross-checking your videos after you finish working on them before you even upload them on YouTube. Another mistake you would want to avoid is uploading videos that violate YouTube terms and policy. A lot of people think there's a clever way of doing this, but it actually hurts the performance of those videos and kills the growth of the channel. A lot of the times you might also be thinking of other ways to get views on your videos rather than getting the views organically. This is where you come across a website that is guaranteeing you views for a certain amount of dollars. Once you pay the money and you start getting views from these platforms, the YouTube algorithm easily notices this. So in the long run, you're basically going to hurt your channel, or YouTube will give you a shallow ban. So it is important to be reminded that these strategies really do not work and they wouldn't get you the results you need. And in worst case scenario, if your channel is monetized, this might actually get your channel demonetized or even YouTube terminating your channel. So you would want to try as much as possible to avoid buying views from some of these platforms or websites. The last but not the least thing you should avoid is something I would advise you do, but actually do keep it on a minimum. This is something that has a time and a place, but most of the time it is something you shouldn't be seen doing frequently as a new YouTuber. You see that some of these small creators, when they upload their videos, you realize that they start looking at the analytics by checking the click-through rates and other metadata. When they check these analytics and they realize that their click-through rate is around 20%, they panic and feel that their thumbnails is not good. And what you should know is that you're a small channel that really do not have a lot of views. So you really cannot compare or make your judgment based on the little data that YouTube is giving you. And not until your videos are getting tens and thousands of views, some of these metrics or analytics shouldn't really matter so much to you. When you get yourself tied up to these metrics as a small creator, it demoralizes you because the information that you be getting really wouldn't be inspiring enough for you to keep pushing. So stop looking at these metrics and getting yourself obsessed with them. Rather, keep doing what you love best and don't undermine your little gains you are making. All right, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then you certainly will enjoy this video where I explain to you how I mistakenly killed my YouTube channel. You would want to watch this video because it will put you at a better position not to repeat the same mistakes I did that got my YouTube channel killed. All right, so thank you for watching and see you in that video.